This is from a journal article called From an Evaluation of the Potential Use and Impact of Prezi, the Zooming Editor Software as a Tool to Facilitate Learning in Higher Education. It's by Conboy, Fletcher, Russell, and Wilson in 2012. So the pros that they mentioned, they did a small qualitative case study. They looked at 3 students and also 3 staff members, although they didn't include the staff member ideas within the actual case studies that they published. But they did include some of their quotes and that kind of thing throughout the article as well. So I'm going to highlight some of the pros that they had with using Prezi and some of the cons that were brought up as well. So some of the pros is that it doesn't use conventional bullet points, which leans towards using a mind map or web configuration, which a lot of people tend to like better if they're visual learners, because that's leaning toward more how people think, and it may help people to learn things easier as well. PowerPoint discourages free association and and Prezi therefore could lead to higher analytical thinking because you have to connect ideas together, and therefore lead to a richer understanding of the material. Another pro is that it can help combat boredom, I mean for at least a little while, because it is very visually exciting, and a different format type than what students are used to. And you can incorporate a whole bunch of different teaching methods within the actual Prezi. Now, this only lasts for a while, obviously. Allows for collaboration through the software itself. You can have up to 10 people to collaborate on a single Prezi, like I said before. It can help students to reflect on their own learning as well because they're connecting ideas, creating sort of like a concept map, but you can make it linear too if that is how you think. I find myself a lot of the times that's how I think. And a student said that this is a great way to do throughout the course, adding as you go, or you can do that before as an exam rather than using pen and pencil. Also, another pro is that there is a Prezi education account, which is free to students and teachers. It just unlocks some of the locked features that other people have to pay for in order to use, which is pretty nice. It's relatively easy to use and figure out how to use. The program itself is pretty user-friendly in terms of right away you can figure out how to put things together. It's great also because you can publicly save a lot of your Prezis. You can use it for research and look up certain topics, etc. It's also good for it to be internet-based as well because you can access it from anywhere, which is great. It's cloud-based. There are some cons, however, and some of these I have experienced. Because I have had students bring this in as their unit review assignment, I have had to mark a few of them in a row, and I've experienced this thing called Prezi sickness. So motion sickness because of the zooming feature, and if you have to look at a lot of them, you may experience this. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry, this can be worrisome for those with weak stomachs and those with possible disabilities, etc. And it could actually make the visual literacy part a little bit more difficult. Another con is that they are quite time consuming to actually create and plan out. It's hard to visualize what you're going to do, so if you are planning, they have great templates, but you usually have to add things, take things out, all that kind of stuff. They can be time consuming, but just as time consuming as PowerPoint as well, I find anyways. There can be technical problems with it being just internet based. If the internet goes down, you're not able to access your presentation either to work on or to actually use as a presentation, which can be worrisome. And there's not really a way to export it in terms of not using the internet. I personally like that it's on the internet because I can access it anytime, and same with students. If they want to access the material, they can. Over time, it could also become just another presentation tool, and although I said that it could combat boredom, it can also just be that as well. And as more people start using it, it could become the new type of PowerPoint, and people will just get bored of it just the same. So there's another study that I was looking at in terms of this idea as well. However, a lot of the pros and cons and things that they've taken out of it are very, very similar. So this is called Diversifying Higher Education, Innovative Tools to Facilitate Different Ways of Learning. And this is coming out of Tampere University of Technology from Finland. And a lot of these, they find the same thing, that Prezi enabled novel interactions between participants. You were able to disseminate your knowledge in quite different ways. And it allowed for less teacher-directed tasks so much, especially if students are using it to collaborate their ideas and connect their ideas together as well. It allowed for collaboration, which I already said, and for students to practice to visualize their learning, which can enhance learning as well, so therefore can achieve better results,